Hi everyone, a journal page today, and I'm working in this sketch notebook, quite large one, and I have a very vague idea what I want to do, so I'm just going to play and put some pieces down. I want some all kinds of papers and details in the back. Don't know how much of it will show, and I've got these papers that I put some baby oil on them a long time ago because it makes them a little bit translucent, and I remembered I had them and I want to use them now. I have a video about it, and I hope I will remember by the end. I will put a link below in the description box to that video. I'm going to start gluing down some pieces. I also got this tissue paper that I just stamped all around. Really doesn't matter what the stamps are. I just covered it and had fun with it. So I'm going to start gluing down pieces. I'm using matte medium just because I have it and I want to finish it. You can use a plain white glue, doesn't need anything more than that. And let's just take some brush and beginning. Let's see. This is just, I don't even remember where I took this. Well, what happens? Yeah. It didn't want to stick where I wanted it. I don't care where everything goes. This is quite a random, some coverage. I'm also going on top of each piece, and here I have some fold and I don't like it, so I'm just going to take this out and just gluing down. I don't know how much of it, of all this will show. I'm planning on putting some gesso on top. As I said, don't know how much of it will show. I just want some details picking through. Otherwise, I really don't care, and it doesn't matter what's what. And let's see, let's put this here. Yeah. So quite quick coverage of a page. Just making sure everything is stuck down. And now I'm just going to tear some pieces from this tissue paper. I do try to take the pieces that have straight edges and align them with the straight edges of my page. Just easier that way. Yeah. I'm really trying to be random about it and not overthink it. We'll see what happens. It can also get completely covered. Just be aware. We'll see what happens. Yeah. So I think I'll just cover this piece while I'm at it and call it done. Yeah, this is it. So I'm going to let this dry and then I'll come back. I'm back. So this is mostly dry. I don't really care that it would be completely dry. I'm going to go over it with gesso, and most of the time if you have some kind of glue and you put and it's still wet and you put gesso on it, you will have some kind of crackle effect. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. So I don't care. If it does, fine. If it doesn't, also fine. I'm just taking some gesso with water. I have water on my brush. I want all this to be pushed back. That's why I'm using the gesso, and I'm doing it very lightly because removing it is harder than just going back and putting more if you want to. So as I said, just doing it gently so I won't have too much. I still want the details, but not a complete coverage. It also helps to unify all the pieces I've got, because each one is different and different color, and putting gesso all over is just helping it look more cohesive. So I need a little bit more water on my brush. Now you can also decide that that you want some parts of your page with more coverage and some less. Really up to you what you want to do. I can decide that I want, just for example, to make this disappear, then I will just put more gesso here and leave the other parts to show. Oh, it really depends on you what you want to do. If I don't want to see this, I'll just put some gesso, more gesso, like this. So it's completely up to you. Okay, now this needs to dry before I do anything on top of it, so I'll be back. I'm back. This is dry, and now I want to start building some color into my page. Now I'm going to use chalk pastels. You can use also gelatos, you can use sprays, you can use watercolors, whatever you want. I'm just going to start building some kind of a color in the back, and this is the quick way to go about it. I'm going to activate it with a baby wipe. First I'm doing the edges with dark brown. Sorry. And I'm going to play with all kinds of browns and blues. And again, this is quite random. Changing colors. We'll see what happens. Maybe I will add more later. Right now it's just going with this. I'm starting with the blues and only later I'm going into the darker color, the brown. First I want to spread this around, and if I have too much of let's say strokes, then I'm just tapping, because I don't want to see like brush strokes or whatever, trying to spread it without too much lines showing up. Okay, moving on to the brown. Again, trying to spread it and blend it without too much of lines showing up. Again, if I'm not satisfied, I can take gelatos, I can take sprays, I can add whatever I want in any given time, and use whatever you have. It really doesn't matter. Yeah, something like that. Maybe I will take some spray and still go in just for some drippage, but I haven't decided yet. So I'm just playing around until I've got something that I like. Yeah. Took too much here, so I'm just going in, adding. So this is the start. We'll see where it's going, and let's give it a quick blast here. Good enough. Now I want some stenciling, and I've got this stencil from Stamperia, and I don't know, I think I'll use this one, and I'm going to take this is Distress Ink by Tim Holtz Ground Espresso, and I'm going to take this kind of makeup brush. Wouldn't know what to do with it in terms of makeup, but for art journaling it's great. Just going like this. It needs a little bit of pressure, but I really like the results. You can also do it with a makeup sponge. The result is just a little bit different. This is a little more soft impression on the page. That's why I like it. Sometimes I want something more defined, then I will use the makeup sponge and not this brush. So it's really up to you. You can also do it with a makeup sponge, just tapping lightly, but it takes a little bit more time. Even with this, it's not, as you can see, I need to put pressure and do small areas each time until I get what I want on my page, but it's worth it. Yeah, let's hope I didn't miss anything. Let's do this part also. Oops. moved a little bit, but it doesn't matter. Okay. Oh, I love it. Yeah, I think I'm going to do more of this clock in the background. And let's take another brown. I've got also a walnut stain, and maybe I'll use this clock now. And I'm thinking, let's see, yeah, let's place it here. And again, I'm using this, but I think I'm going very, very soft with it. I'm not looking for I want it like a shadow or a ghost print in the back, so I'm less putting pressure on my brush. And if I don't like it, I can always get in again and add more so it will be more defined. But right now I just want a faint impression. Let's see. Yeah, that's what I was aiming for. Let's just, I moved it, and I want to do this part also, so yeah. And I want another one. It's just building layers in the background and some kind of transparency, because you can still see the original papers that I've glued down, and then you can see the color that I added, and now you can see the stencil and still see through it. So I'm really liking this. Let's see. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I think I'll do it like it's like it's under this clock and not do the whole thing. Let's see. Trying to be quick about it, because as I said, this is only like a ghost impression on the page and pushing it back. It needs to be part of the background in the back. Yeah, that's what I was aiming for, and now I can do another one. I really love the browns and blues together. So yeah, you can hardly see it, but it's here and I just love it. I think I'll do more, and I'm going back to this ground espresso, the darker color, and now I'm going to put the clock that I've done here. I'm going to put it here, and again, like it's in the back, so I'm trying to be gentle about it and not to overlap with the other clocks that I've done. You can hardly see it. I can hardly see it when I'm doing it, but I'll just lift it each time and see where I need to add a little bit. And part of it is going to get covered because, as I said, because there is going to be a focal image, but that's the whole thing about building layers on your page. So a little bit here, yeah, and I'm really liking this area of the clock, so I'm going to put just a little bit more here. I hope I'm in frame, and I really need to remember at the end of the video to do a close-up and show you how it looks. I keep forgetting it. Don't know why. Yeah. Okay, so that's about this stencil, and let's show you right now how it looks. All the faded stenciling I did in the back. Hope you see it. And I had an idea, and I don't know if it will work, but we'll see. I made a stencil some time ago. I even used it, and you've seen me use it, of this branch, and that's the cutout of the stencil from the acetate. And I kept this because I thought maybe I'll find something to do with it. Can't throw anything. And I'm thinking if I can put it down here and use it as a mask. Maybe I'll put a little bit of glue stick in the back in hopes that it won't move because it's acetate. It's plastic, so a little bit of glue stick. I'm going to put it here like so in hopes that it won't move. And I'm going to take a blue ink pad with a makeup sponge, and let's see if I can use it as a mask. I think I will use another ink pad. I'm going to use this nautical blue by Momento, and yeah, now it looks better. Again, working on transparency. Don't know how if it will be prominent on the page, but I think it can add interest to the whole. So we'll see what happens. Experimenting as usual. Don't know how how it will turn out. Trying to hold it down because I'm not sure the glue stick will keep it in place, and I'm not dragging it, I'm tapping, because again, if I will try to drag it, it will remove the acetate. I'm trying for a middle ground. I want it to show but be transparent. I don't want it to overwhelm. Okay, let's remove this piece of acetate. Oh my, I'm in love with it. Maybe do just a little bit here, and now it's a little bit moving. I should have put again some glue stick in the back, but never mind. I'm holding it and trying to still do justice to this. Okay, yeah. Do I want more? maybe just a little bit here. As long as I'm tapping from the top and not dragging, then and holding it down, it works. Yeah. Okay, so I really love it, and I want to add more of this dark blue here on top. I think it will make my corner and framing the page, so I'm just continuing with it. Here I can drag if I want, just do something like that, and also on the other edges, just continuing with it. Whoops, not glued quite well. Little bit of glue stick will do the trick. Yeah. So this blue with the dark brown works great. I thought about adding some texture with stencil and some paste, but decided against it. I'm keeping this flat. I really like what's going on here. Just need to finish the edges. Yeah. And I don't know, I think I want to stamp also again, but before that I'm bringing in the focal image, and it's two leaves that I've picked from this outside and just dried them. Well, they were all mostly dried. I just helped them flatten. And let's see, do I want more? No, I think I like it as is. I thought about stamping again and adding more details, but I really like it as is. So now it's just gluing it, and I think I want some shadowing to each of these pieces. So I'll just glue this, and when it's glued down I'll come back. I'm back. This is glued down. I just want a little bit more definition and like shadow for these two pieces, and I'm going to use eyeliner. Why? Because it's dry and I can smudge it quite nicely. You can use Stabilo All, you can use water soluble pencils, gelatos, whatever you want. I'm using this just because, as I said, this is dry. I don't need to use any kind of water to activate it and smudge it. And I pick it up in, again, some kind of cheap store for cosmetics that you probably wouldn't use on your face, but it's great for crafting all this stuff. So win-win. You see how nicely it smudges. Yeah. And I can also, if I want, I can add, like I'm using this one is dark blue. I can add black if I want it more, and it still blends together and smudges. I can also smudge it if I want with a Q-tip. Really easy to work with. And it doesn't, once you smudge it, you don't have harsh lines. And a little bit more here underneath. That's what I'm going for, where I'm putting the shadow. And a little bit of black in several places. Yeah. And another thing is, if you want the edges to be more pronounced, you can also use the eyeliner, and it really does a great job in blending and smudging to make something more defined. So this is it. That's my page. I am in love with it, with all this transparency and all the details. And again, this corner is not stuck right. It's always the corners. And let's remove the masking tape. Here it is. So thank you for watching, and thank you for leaving me comments below, and I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye for now.